So, Alexandra Gula, the director, is here. Please, if you have questions already, just go ahead. If not, maybe you could start by talking a bit about your relationship to this place, because it is not your first time dealing with it, and how your interest in the subject started.
I'm not sure I understood your question. My interest in this place in Uricani, in Valea Jiului.
In the place and in this topic of the children that get left behind.
Yeah. Actually, yes, we made a feature film in this region in Valea Jiului, which was a fictional story who began with this suicidal children that I was reading about. So I made in some kind way back with this short film, thinking about my research and my first relationship to the place. Actually, my relationship with Valea Jiului is since 95, when I found a street child from there. So I have a long history there with children, yeah. And as we made the casting for the feature, I realized that most of the kids that I've interviewed and casted were with the parents in Italy, Spain.
I have maybe two questions. The film looks like it was...
I think the room is not that big. The film looks like it was filmed in the 90s or so. It was deliberate. You used maybe an old VHS camera or a Super
16.
Super 16.
Yeah.
Okay, with some older lenses.
But this is not a DCP. I mean, this is the working copy because the material was not scanned.
So it was scanned with a lower resolution.
Yeah.
Okay, but it was deliberate, or it's to make it look, I don't know, even more desolate?
We shot the whole film in Super 16. It doesn't look this way, but as an author, as I wanted to tell the story of a child, I felt the need to go back in my own childhood, which is near to that, but I mean, the region is...
Okay, so and another question was the scene with the fanfare. Was it staged or?
Yeah.
This
was the feature film scene, yeah. But this didn't came in the long métrage, and it came here.
So why Super 16, and how did you collaborate with Nicu Ilfoveanu, who photographed most of the film, right?
I'm a big fan of film material. I'm also a big fan of Nicu. Actually this was our first collaboration, but we know each other very well. So he knows my work very well, and I know his. And I proposed him to come to Matei Child Minor as a guest. He's a photographer, actually, and to have so much as possible documentary images from there because I knew I couldn't do it with a team. So Nico knew what we were shooting and he was moving. I only went 2 times with him, but he was moving alone. Yes.
So is this mostly shot while you were shooting?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. And you, yeah.
On short ends.
Yeah.
Why this name? I mean, I was expecting something else, not the story about the kids.
The title, you mean?
Yes.
Because notes come from my research notes, and I think it's the first time when I'm working on a film without pressure and stress, because the material was there. I was editing it and I really thought about these kids, and I worked in a very you speak Romanian? Like a schiță, like a free work, and that's why notes.
How long have you been working on this film? Like you said, you encountered some children who experienced these problems, and how long ago was that? And after you met them, how long did it take before you decided you wanted to do a project about it?
So as I told you, my first story with abandoned child began in '95. And on the feature I worked 5 years, and this is 7 years after, I think. I try not to count the years which are passing with the same subjects, like an obsession.
But it's a continuous process, maybe.
Yes,
of
maybe.
Research and work.
It's a film without a main character apart from the place. Since you made your fiction film, was there your change in the way you think about how this kind of big phenomena like the living of people can be shown in film changed? So your understanding for how you can show them, and is it also because of that that you chose to do this film, which is experimental, an essay? Because also thinking about it, your characters are not there actually on the geographically speaking.
I'm not sure if I understood your question. So the idea was that that's why initials, because we don't know them. I mean, there are dramas, awful dramas, which remain anonymous, and there is one character in the film, the heir, which is a friend of mine who researched, who wanted to make a material, a journalist, about this child, Razvan. Yes, one thing is that nobody knows them. They are like numbers, like statistics, and that's why my voiceover is also very very reduced, very administrative in some way.
But there was a part of it that I found striking, saying that it is overall like it is the part where this story about her comes up, and the question is, his father asked me, what is it like in hell, what is it like in heaven? And I think it's as a question. So there was, and I was thinking at that time, I was asking myself if it wasn't somehow a transcription of an interview you led with them, but you say the voiceover is exclusively compiled of material you read.
No, there are also journalists there on the credits also. There are also pics from journalists, from information, from this enquête. After the death, journalists are asking questions, and this is one of the questions. This is one of the answers.
Maybe you could talk a bit about the music in the film, and also what indications did you have about it? Did the composer compose it having the film already? And in what way did you want it to relate to the images?
Yes, so the composer was my best friend, and he died since the film. He was young, and we've been working together a lot, months and months on other films, like editing music, and like me asking him for a trumpet. He used to play trumpet. It's his trumpet. And he knew Matei from the beginning, the feature film project, and I was sending him edits all the time, and he proposed musics. So we knew from the beginning that we wanted a clarinet because of the mountains, and I don't know how to get it, because as we knew each other so incredibly well, it wasn't like a very conceptual. I mean, I think he took his inspiration from the film, and we actually, as I'm working on an edit, I'm also working with music, picked from Chopin to. I was using a lot of his music. Because he had some groups, AaRC.ro and Coceni Orchestra, so I used his music, and this was easier way, because for me it's complicated to discuss about what I'm waiting from music. But as you have examples, you feel the direction in which.
Questions? Maybe one last one. I wanted to ask you about these colors we're seeing. I suppose you put them there. They are not actually there, like this green window that we see, and also there is this one frame where we see the blue car, and there's the same color of. Yeah, exactly.
So this is what you were speaking about, my relationship to Nicu. So I'm a painter as origin, and he's a photographer, and we're both looking after pictorial or so. I think we both love to work with colors, and
But they were actually there.
they were there. There is one of my shawls there, Ciclam one, in So there's a foulard
Yeah,
that I put there, but the most,
They were actually
yeah.
There are some train scenes that are shot from inside one of the tank engines.
Mm-hmm.
For the,
Yeah. And it's parked out.
Yeah.
I think this problem with abandon and child. I think. Yeah. It's all. But I don't need this. Okay, thank you. I think this problem is all over Romania with child. Not only in Valea Jiului.
No, not at all.
I have one East Romania branch. I know.
Moldavia is also very touched.
So yeah. But I didn't expect it actually from the name.
Yeah, that was
I
my
expect
question
something
actually. It was
else.
not really
Valea Jiului, I thought
Valea
it's
Jiului.
about Valea Jiului and some history of geographic stuff.
Okay.
But yeah, this problem is all over the place in Romania. So.
The stories from the journalists are also from Iași, I mean, Valea Jiului is a place which becomes iconic, yes, but it could have been in Bucharest.
Yeah, but in Bucharest, as a capital, it's not that hard for them because Bucharest is big and healthy and
Well, maybe the contrasts are bigger and
yeah.
maybe you don't see only one side of things like you see it in the Valea Jiului where people are poor and living.
Yeah.
In Bucharest you also see other sides.
Yeah.
So on the other side, I mean, I'll say something very simple, but when you see these images, you understand also why they are living. I mean, there is nothing to do.
Well, there is something to do.
I mean, there is no work. There is no work.
Oh, no work.
Yeah.
We need to change something in politics and government and stuff like that. But this is another subject.
Yeah.
So, if there are no more questions, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.